Welcome everyone. International quality standards. The topic for the discussion. This presentation is going to be a little bit much of a theoretical knowledge because we are going to talk about international quality standard or ISO based equations thereby. So, what is international quality standard? A quality management system is a system that defines operations to achieve consistency, credibility with customers. Quality management standards refers to what an organization does to manage its process, to achieve its objective, to break down its job into various tasks and activities so that they are able to meet their objective as on when on required. This is as per ISO 2004. ISO 9000 series, the international standard organization, the standards on quality management states it is the generic term, and believe me or not, every Fortune 500 organizations, companies follows ISO 9000 principles. Means that the standards can be applied to any organization. Means that the standards can be applied to organization whether irrespective of their size, be it small, be it big, be it large, be it magnanimous, whatever the product, whatever the sector, and you name it, ISO 9000 can be applied. ISO is an auditable system. Organization may be certified to the market standard by an outside agencies in Wagner's stated in 2001. ISO 9000 predominate the quality management standards today, adopts 149 countries, economies thereby. We're talking about general introduction, right? Quality management principles of ISO 9000, 2000, and see as they say so. We're talking about customer focus. We're talking about leadership, involvement of people, process approach, a set of interrelated activities which transform inputs into output. This is a system approach to management, manages a set of interrelated activities, thereby how to go across with it. Continual improvement, factual approach to decision making. Remember, we are talking about mutual beneficial relationship between vendors, between suppliers, between organization. You name it, we have it. It is all about being customizations, keeping the customer as the focus, as the center point of activity. We are all working to involve each one of us to do the right part of their work, duties, responsibility, so that we can achieve the desired result of customer satisfaction. Be it the process approach, be it the system approach, or be it just the fact that we need to improvise upon our productions, we will need to improvise on our services. In short, we need to enhance our performances every now and then. Look what has been given the graph. Currently, approximately more than 1 million international standard of organization certificate has been certified ISO. Top 10 countries for registrations are China, approximately 27%, more than one fourth is ISO 9000 certified. Italy, UK, Japan, Spain, USA, Germany, Australia, France, South Korea, name it, see it, view it, and watch it. Mind it, these are all developed countries that we are talking about it. So, yes, the developing countries, the less developed countries, and the backward nations will have a long things to catch up. And the best news is that we have the ISO 9000 standards guideline available, publicly available, now which we can just pick it up and apply to our organization. The characteristic, let us describe about it. Leadership demonstrates commitment to the customer's requirement, policies, measurable quality, objectives are set and renewed, processes are identified and analyzed, they are destined to be managed. Customer satisfaction is measured, data are collected, are analyzed, and perhaps used. System effectiveness is a continual improvement over a period of time, and this is what we are looking forward to. So, ISO process approach is a company must identify and manage numerous linked activities. An activity uses resources is managed in order to enable the transformation of inputs into output, as the case might be. Continual improvement on the quality management system, and how do we go across with it? You name it, we will have to have it. You look, what are we having? It's the management responsibility to arrange for the resources. The resource management is an integral part of management responsibility. The product realization depends upon what kind of resources have been given, inputted, and the product once produced should be measured, should be validated, should be analyzed, should be improved over a period of time. Remember, this is a contrast thing that comes between the customer's satisfaction and customer's requirement. And remember, between these two paradigm is what the organization would like to find a gap and service that gap, fulfill the gap, so that there is a continual improvement that takes place. And that is what international organization for standards approach is all about. It the timeline, let us say the timeline, let's say the step number one is proposal. It's a new work item which we want to go around it. So new work in progress. Then probably goes to the step two. Once the proposal has been accepted, we start preparing for it, as in the working draft. Once the working draft has been prepared, stating what are the key objectives, what are the key facilities, what are the key concerns that needs to be addressed, we look for the committee work about it. The committee draft format comes around it. Next is the inquiry, is the draft international standards, DIS takes place. We are looking for approval. Final draft of international standard comes in. Next is the publication of international standards. This happens as on when on basis. So yes, step numbers 1 to 6 is all about proposal, preparatory committee, inquiry, approval, and publication thereof. Let us understand the key aspect. One, it should be on time based, time bound, timely, prompt response to the inquiries within the accepted timeline is the fundamental concept. Then comes the consensus. All point of views are accepted in forming the position. Majority support for the position comes out there. We are looking at being transparent, as in the activities of the committees are open and visible to be scrutinized from anybody and everybody. Anyone can inspect the persons. All interested parties are welcome to contribute towards their knowledge. Traceability, all items must be accompanied by a voting record. Voting record is the movement record that comes around it, wherever the items comes from and goes to. If we can have a footstep, if we can trace the footstep, we will be able to pinpoint if things goes wrong at which all joints, which all corners things went wrong. So dual roles of ISO 9000, let's say ISO 9000 or 9004, is quality management services for fulfilling the customer regulatory or requirements, which is mandatory part for 9000. Let's say what 9004 states. It says management should consider develop of innovative financial methods to support and encourage improvement of the organizational performances. This, as per as 9004 guidelines for performance improvement, takes place every now and then. So allocation of cost. What is the process approach? Early methods of tracking quality cost was too limited. Focus on cost of non-conformance, that is external and internal failure cost. Process cost broadens economies of quality by classifying cost of non-conformance and the cost of conformance. Cost incurred when a process has been running without a failure, without the word to take forward to. Process approach, added benefits, utilize cost of non-conformance, often called cost of poor quality, and the cost of conformance, which is at time equal to the greater cost of saving opportunities, may be available in reducing cost of conformance. Thereby we need to go through it. So let us understand what is the process approach. Process approach is step by step, following the dictates, the guidelines, uh, uh, the postulates that has been mandated by the management, if not by the by the International Organization for Standards. So this is, if you don't follow those mandate, you land up with a poor quality product. So that is what the cost of conformance is all about. It is a greater cost of saving opportunities, probably the complaints, probably the reputation, and probably the replacement of the cost that goes around it. Process costing is also tracking and reduction of the cost. normally associated with efficiency in addition to the effectiveness quality. Process simplification in addition to the reduction of errors becomes objective, relates the economies of quality to that of the amount of the activities that we perform. That is what we are looking for process cost. Process cost is the cost of inefficient process. Example, let's say the variation of product characteristics from optimum, unplanned downtime, and or loss of processing and storage capacity. If there are any, we need to follow it up. Inventory shrinkages, variation of the process characteristics from the best practices, cycle time from the start to finish of the activities, and other non-value added activities. We need to understand that improvement is the core to any fundamental process of ISO. We need to make on improvement as an objective all the way around. So let us never strive to ignore equality, because if we ignore quality, failures are bound to happen. So, what is the cost of poor quality? You see, what are the pitfalls of poor quality? First, cost of non-conformity. That means you are either failing in the process wise internally or externally with the complaints that piles up. Or the cost of conformity is all about process approach, and the cost of lost opportunities for sales revenue per se. What goes wrong, how it happens. We are losing the sales revenue then and there. Internal failure cost examples are labor, material overheads spent on defective products. We are talking about spoilages, defective scraps, etc. Corrective defective in physical of service product, that is reworking the product every now and then. Sorting out the bad or a good product. Reinspection or retest of the product changes process to correct deficiency. We are looking to correct all, repair anything that goes wrong with the product. Downgrading the product is one more thing that comes around it. So external failure cost. Let me give you some example. Let's say it involves about replacing, probably making repair of the warranty product. Isn't it twice the cost? Or if not twice, at least 1.5 times the cost. If you have done it properly, you would have done it. You have finished the product and shipped the product, there would have been no complaint. But in case the shipped product is coming back with a complaint, either you have to replace the product, that will be twice the cost. In case if you have to replace a component, that would be at least 1.5 times. And we are not talking about the cost of the product, but also the transporting, shipping charges thereby. Investigations and adjustment cost to justify the complaints of the quality defective product. Return material is one more thing that needs to be taken into consideration. Concession cost due to substandard product accepted by the customers then and there, correcting errors on external supporting processes. How wonderful is it? We're talking about revenue losses in support of the operation then and there. So, allocation of cost, the company must decide what to measure and depending upon circumstances, how to measure. Remember, the objective should be very clear: improving on the quality aspect, improving on the customer satisfaction, improving on the fact that their cost has been reduced considerably. So, the overall idea is to allocate cost and not to absorb such costs into overhead. This was stated in 10,014 ISA, the transcript says so. We'll talk about deriving benefits. Look, what is the International Organization of Standard? What are the standing benefits that comes around it? Reduction of failures due to quality management services. Improvement of the process efficiency due to again quality management services, pre and post measurements of implementation. However, improvements should be done as identified using quality tools such as flowchart, value added analysis, cycle time reduction, process simplification, and root cause investigation. This needs to be understood time and again as on when on basis. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video till the very end.